Hello, welcome. Welcome to Anders March, the Pathfinder campaign. Rabbit Habit Ocean. Can you guys hear me though? I
Yes,
figured
we
out
can
how
hear
to
you.
hear
Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
I realized that that when I was talking about how I could hear you guys, no one reacted at all, and I suddenly wasn't sure if you could hear me. We've been having some issues around here lately, um, so I'm starting to assume the worst. But anyway, welcome to the thing that I said already. Um, yeah. So, um, as uh, as a reminder, this channel, Rabbit Haberdashery, we started out as an Extra Life team, and we are still an Extra Life team. And so, what we do here is in support of Extra Life. So, you can go ahead and go to that link that's showing in chat and check out our fundraising page. There's links there to each of our individual pages. I'm told that there was a problem with iPhones trying to click that link. It wasn't working properly, and I think it's because that I didn't put a space between the end of the link and the period at the end of the sentence. Um, and Apple is just foolish enough to be confused by that when nothing else is. So I added a space. So hopefully, if you've been having trouble and you've been clicking on that link and it hasn't been taking you to our Extra Life team page, try again. We would very much appreciate your help, helping us help kids. Um, we have not fully explained this yet to Tango, but I'm sure we will at some point.
Or try a different phone.
Yeah, or try a different phone. Like get a good one, maybe. We are. I liked Max for a long time, and then they changed, and I didn't go along with it.
And then they became everything that they were rallying against when they initially.
They became the machine.
That's
Yes.
right.
But yeah, so check that out. Each of us is.
They are
fundraising-
Skynet.
Many of us are raising money for children's hospitals. Not everyone in the live streams is. Tripper isn't. Like I said, we haven't really explained this to Tango yet, so I don't think he is. But for everybody else, most of the people in Rabbit Haberdashery are raising money for various children's hospitals around the country. As far as this group is concerned, it's mostly just Boston Children's and then the Norfolk one, the Children's Hospital of the King's Daughter. So check out those our roster page, our roster tab on that page for opportunities to donate. Every cent you donate goes straight to the hospital. There's no overhead that comes to us or to the Extra Life executive people or whatever. All right, so we left off 2 weeks ago.
Yes, I was going to say, do you want to introduce Skippy to Tango since Skippy wasn't here last week?
Hi, Skippy. I'm Tango.
Sorry, Matt.
Yes.
Tripper calls you Skippy.
That's true. Yes. We went to school. Matt, and Tripper went to school together, and at school, Tripper started calling him Skippy, and he got very upset about it, which is why Tripper continued to do it. And
Yeah. So I made a big deal about it, so then it never ended, and
Yeah.
still persists to this day.
yeah,
And that was how many years ago now?
6. So
I did not know that you did not like the nickname Skippy, so I will make sure I will do not call you Skippy from
like-
now on.
For a while, it bothered me, but it's been going on so long. Like I have no choice.
It's grown on you?
also,
But alternatively, it's Matt.
yeah,
Yes.
I'm still Tango either way.
yeah. Incidentally, I did figure out I forgot that I had the option to screen share, and so I can just kind of show you the map like this sometimes,
Yes.
so that you can see it in the call.
And you can use your mouse to point to what section of it too.
Oh yeah. So I can. We're up here in Gareth. So the campaign started. We started, I think,
down
here.
toward the bottom.
I think we started here, and then we went here, which is Sanctuary. Then we went around and off to some islands and back, and then north up through here, over a bridge, and then we're now here.
I thought that the market, the island market, was more toward the mouth of the river.
No, we were taking off from this village right here when we were going there. It was just down this way.
Yeah.
And then we went to one of those islands
It was
to the
these islands over
southeast.
here.
Yeah.
So are the
This is the prison.
bridges not highlighted?
No, the bridges are not highlighted. There's not very many either, honestly. There's the one right here, and then there's like a couple right over here, and there's like one right here. But that's basically
It gives Tim creative license to tell us, no, you can't cross there.
Yeah.
You have to fjord somewhere else.
So the
Fjord the river.
what it actually is, I mean, it is handy for that. But what it actually is that I was using Incarnate to make this map because I was kind of rushing the prep for this game because we decided to start it like a week after we voted to do it, so I didn't have as much lead prep time as I usually do. And so that was why that came. So I didn't see any things like that. But normally, when I make maps, they look more like this. So this was a campaign we did a little while back. Took place on that continent. It's called Grandisa. Oh, got it. Okay, there we go. Anyway, I should do one of those for the Paleomythic campaign. Actually, no, I think about it. Anyway, so yeah, that is. We can now have a way to quickly reference the map if we choose to do so. And we left off with you guys going up to investigate some missing persons, and you were in the process of doing that. Mm-hmm. We're gonna have to run into Tango's character there. So basically,
I mean, we're gonna be hanging out at the bar. That's the perfect place to meet someone.
That's okay. So that's
Since
mostly
all campaigns start at a bar. We should know that by now.
I, however, am going to say that Tango, your character is actually looking for one of the people that has gone missing, and we're going to cross paths.
I like it.
This can be part of your background. That a gambling buddy has gone missing, and you're concerned that it was related to their deaths, if you like.
I like.
All right. So when we left off, I don't remember where you guys were.
We were at the bar.
We were at the
We were
bar.
at the
We
bar
were
with no
waiting
name.
for something.
for
We had to wait a
evening.
couple of hours for something.
Yeah, for the other bartender to come in.
Yes.
That's right. And Cirilla was wilting a little bit because Cirilla had a little bit too much moonshine.
I just singed my leaves a little, that's all.
I played a successful tune and made a little bit of money. And I have no idea what Matt was doing.
At first,
He was
I
laughing at
witnessed
It was heckling.
that, and I witnessed the card game that I quickly realized that I would lose all of the money that I have if I tried to participate.
Oh, you should totally try to participate then. This is gonna be hilarious. This will be hilarious to watch.
Oh, I would then try to lose all of your money.
I'd be like, I don't know this fool.
Okay. Well, at any rate, whether you know him or not. So, Zeph has reason to believe that, or Zeph's gonna be looking into this because this same bar is the last place that your buddy was seen, which is why you think it had related. There is some gambling that happens here. So you can feel free to show up looking for information at any point in the session, as long as we're in the tavern.
Okay.
But we'll jump in with them. So you guys are there. You're at the tavern. You are. You were waiting for the what's it call it? You're waiting for the bartender to come in. Bartender did come in. Dinner rush happened. Things are now starting to die down. You probably have opportunity to go talk to him if you like. How are you going to kick that off?
I'm pretty sure that that the monkey was our spokesperson last time.
Which is a perfectly good reason for him not to be this time.
Sounds like Cyrilla's up then.
What? Cyrilla's
Says
drunk.
the
I don't know
bar.
if you remember this.
Oh, that'll be even more fun.
Yeah.
The bard is trying to pawn off the talking
Yes,
to
Right?
someone
very
else.
much so.
Cyrilla's head is down on the bar. She's not up to having a conversation right now. She's just telling herself how bad of an idea that was over and over and over again.
The problem with
Poke-
this is I don't even remember
poke
what
Cyrilla.
we were talking about.
We
I'm
were
so bad at
asking about
remembering
the
stuff.
orc. We were talking about the orc because he was working when he was last seen.
Yes.
Where's my OneNote?
Well, we were. It was Thurk was the guy's name. At least I wrote that down.
Oh, good.
Yep.
So
Wait.
So, yeah, so there was a lizard folk bartender who was there the night that Thurk went missing and worked with him that night.
see,
And would've-
I'm automatically anti-lizard folk, anyways. Oh wait, that's the wrong character. Never mind.
Wrong character.
Wrong character. That was the wrong campaign. Okay. Well, I will. Ask the bartender if he remembers the night that Thurk disappeared.
All right. He's gonna look you guys over. And he's gonna say, "You don't seem like cops."
Oh, we're far from cops. We told Tosluk that we'd ask around to see if we could find any information on Thurk and some of these other missing persons. We are curious, like why so many people have been going missing over the past month.
And at this point, Zephyr is walking along, I would say, coming into their proximity.
All right. So you'll overhear that they're looking for people who go missing. The bartender's gonna ask, "What's your connection to Tosluk?"
We just met him today.
We're interested parties.
I'm gonna see if I notice. Nope, I do not notice a pixie.
Let's see if I do.
It is not a pixie. I am a sprite.
A sprite. I'm sorry.
Specifically,
That
a
is a-
Molixie.
There is a significant difference between those.
That's true.
Yeah, I don't notice them either.
Yeah.
And Cirilla won't notice him because Cirilla's passed out on the bar.
She's not passed out. She's just
Head down.
saying never again. Over and over.
Can I just
Lightly banging
Can I
her
just take
forehead.
a watering pot and just start like sprinkling it on top of her?
I mean, where are you gonna get one?
I'm sure that there's one out on the porch or something.
No, there is not.
Aw.
What do you think? There's some kind of hipster bar has a garden in the middle of the city.
Just take a glass of water and start spritzing it at Cirilla.
So yeah. So yeah, he's gonna look at you suspiciously from that answer as well, and he's gonna say, not hearing a whole lot of reason to talk to you about this.
To find answers on what happened to your bouncer.
He's a big man; he can handle himself.
If he's been missing for so long, does he? Can he? And it seems like the guard isn't doing much of anything to do with it.
All right. He's gonna kind of lean on his knuckles on the bar, lean down towards you, and say, "You can order a drink. You can give me a reason to continue this conversation, or you can get the fuck out of my bar."
I'm gonna sit 2 gold pieces down on the bar.
That's a lot of drinks.
And I'm gonna say, is that a good reason to continue this conversation?
Glad it's coming out of his pocket.
Give me a persuasion.
Okay.
Or diplomacy, I guess that might...
Let me see here. Oh, dang. Nope.
Oh god.
He just loses 2 gold right off the bat. Let me see if I can do a diplomacy.
Like, is there any kind of advantage with it being 2 gold pieces?
You rolled a
There
nat
we
1.
go. Nat 20.
Even if you had advantage, Matt, you rolled a nat 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had a critical diplomacy.
All
You're
right.
welcome.
What did you do? What does that roll represent? You doing or saying?
I'm backing up the monkey.
Like, are you putting more money down, or are you saying something, or?
I'm just agreeing with the monkey. Like, yeah, is that enough money?
Or shall I add more to the pie?
Or is that good enough of a reason? How many drinks will this buy?
All right. Yeah, he's gonna scoop up the 2 gold. He's gonna kind of look them over, check, verify that they're real. He's gonna say, "I'll get you a few questions."
So we know that orcs were not liked around here. This is side.
Out of character.
Yeah, out of character. Yeah. So
Well, so this area is kind of a ghetto for like a lot of native races and stuff like
Okay.
that. And orcs aren't native to the island.
yeah.
So they're more welcome here than they are in a lot of other parts of the city. But yeah, they're not as readily trusted as like you guys would be.
Yeah. And the bartender didn't really seem to like Tosslook all that much either, from the way that he reacted to us coming from Tosslook as well.
I
mean,
think
that
he
would-
just didn't trust us.
Okay.
Yeah, you can do an insight on that if you like. Which I guess is just perception in this edition.
Perception. Well, I failed my first perception roll tonight, so maybe. Oh,
I think
Carol.
I got it.
Coming in clutch.
Nope. Hey, that's a 2.
Yeah, Sorella picks up that when he was asking, like, what our connection to Tosslook was, it was more of a, you really don't look like type people who have connection with Tosslook.
And I think that the bartender's the friendliest person around. Like, you're a real nice fellow. All right. All right. We got about 3 questions or so. So, what do you guys want to ask?
If you noticed
mean,
anything
it's-
strange the night that. What's
Now-
his name? Third?
Now, Zeph has overheard that that's what this conversation is about.
It is Matt's coin.
The character that the person that you're looking for is a different person than the one they're looking for.
So
But-
it's not Thurk.
No, it's not Thurk. It's what did I say? It's one. There was 2 elves, right? Where did I write it?
Elf 1
Yeah.
and Elf 2.
Yeah, it was one of the elves.
And they went missing at the same time Thurk did?
Just shortly after.
And we're also last seen at this bar?
Yeah. Now
That's
you
not
don't
sus
know
at
that
all.
yet, but
Okay.
Zeph does.
It's going to be Mr. Smithers in the back who's been kidnapping them all. And he would have gotten away from it with it if it weren't for us kids.
Us meddling kids.
That's right.
I will hop up on the bar and say, I think that 2 gold buys me at least 1 thimble full.
And we'll be like, get your own drink, man.
How does my gold
Who
get
are
you
you?
questions?
Cirilla's gonna
That
poke
is a
you.
Good question.
She's gonna be like, are you real?
The bartender's gonna say, "All right, you guys sort this out. I have some people to wait on. I'll be right back." And he's gonna go off and get some other people drinks.
I hear that you're looking for people around here, and I think interested in what your connection to Thurk is.
We have no connection to Thurk. We're just looking. We heard that people were going missing, and we were interested.
I've been looking for my friend Elfie's one. And,
Well, we can give him a name for crying out.
What's his name?
Well, hold
the
on.
bar with no name equals Elf one.
What the heck is it?
It's the bar without a name. Like, I'm surprised that Star-Lord isn't the one bartending.
Okay, but
It's
what's the elf's name?
Uh,
That's what I want to know.
Please hold. Loading.
Varial.
Varial.
Variel.
Okay.
Ariel.
Varial with the V.
B-A-R.
V.
V as in
V
Victor.
as in Victor. Okay. B-A-R-I-E-L.
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Is the first
Varial's,
is the first of the elves that went missing.
between Thork, Burial, and a few other people, we've been having some problems around here, and it seems like you're poking your head in here. You're poking your nose in here where I'm interested why. Nice tavern name.
So we figured that, like, if we find these missing people, there might be some grateful family members who might pay us for our troubles.
That's why you're here. Like, some of us aren't in it to, what's the word? Oh yeah, scam money out of grieving families.
Mm. That's more
It's
than one
not
word.
scamming money if
That's definitely
if
more
we
than one
find people.
Oh, sorry, it's blackmail.
No, it's not blackmail. It's asking for contributions from grateful families.
Did they
Typically,
ever did they ever get a drink actually served to them?
No,
They-
Yeah,
or-
that's
well,
why I'm
she was drinking
asleep on the
earlier.
counter.
she was drinking
Yeah.
earlier. I bought her a drink.
But they have not ordered a drink since you've
the
arrived.
I bought
bartender.
myself a drink.
No,
What are
I
you
paid
talking
for your
about?
drink.
You paid for my second drink.
Oh, I paid for your second drink. There you go.
that's
Okay.
more than one.
That's right.
That's why my leaves are wilting, burning.
Yeah, they have not ordered or received any drinks since you've met them.
So if anybody's got money, they'll be giving it to me because Vario owes me some.
How much does Varial owe you?
About 3 games worth.
Three games worth?
games?
Yes, dude. You want to find out how much money you can lose in a game?
I look at the monkey.
Or, like, what game is it?
I love all games.
We will let you have one of our questions if you can take this copper piece and turn it into a gold using that game over in the corner.
There's people playing.
Pointing
cards over
to
in
the
corner.
game that I watched earlier on. Assuming that they're still there.
There's easier ways to turn the copper into gold. And funner.
And funner.
More fun. Let's find this barkeep and get our questions answered for where Varial's gone to. So I will whistle towards our barkeep.
Okay.
I'm still skeptical of the sprite.
All right. He'll finish serving someone a drink and then come over and go. You guys have all this sorted out? You ready to talk?
Sort of.
You know Varial, and I know you. What do you know about Varial and when he left here last?
Oh. Varial, last time Varial was here, got into a dispute with, Lenny and Marcus. No, not Marcus. Marcus is someone else. We've already done that
What was the name from of Mice and Men, Lenny and
Harold.
Lenny and Dolgra.
Are
Okra?
either of those two on any of the missing posters that we have?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
did Lenny do it? Like so, Varial just doesn't go off. He pays his debts, and then I'm seeing Thurk disappeared and this elf too. Do you know anything about where these folks might be going? If there's anything going on in the town or the beachfront here?
Last thing I knew about Varial is Lenny and Dolgro were accusing him of cheating. They went outside to sort it out, and then none of the three of them ever came back in.
Cheating. This is the root and shoot. That's all we do here.
Well, some people get mad.
Wait, so Lenny and the other guy is missing too?
I don't know.
No, they
No.
talked to Varial had a
Okay.
discussion with them when they accused Varial. Actually, probably just caught him cheating.
Wow.
He was not a very he only owed me money because I could cheat better than he could, or can.
Yeah.
Hopefully, he's still alive. He's got my money. So let's and who doesn't like a little game? Let's go and try to find these. And I'm Zeph, by the way. I think I want to thank the monkey there for the drink that this man never got me, or this lizard's never got me. Lizard, didn't you get paid 2 thimble or 2 gold for some drinks here?
I got paid for conversation.
Oh, you
And we still haven't gotten any answers about Thurk.
I
I
know.
feel
like- Yeah, we need to have some answers.
You guys got
about
like
Thurk.
3 or so questions, and Zeph just took 2 of them.
Yeah.
The night,
Using up our money. Or
the night that Varial disappeared, is that the same night that Thurk was last seen here?
Alright, real quick, before you ask that question, you do already know the answer to that.
Oh, I do?
Yeah, and the answer is no.
Okay. Wait,
Bartender's
Before
name is
I-
Hazi, by the way.
the third
before I
the third,
ask this
Which
question,
Zeph knows.
the third question is going to be, but why male models?
would it would it be an appropriate question and the correct question to ask if Thurk left in the same direction he usually does when he leaves?
I mean, that's... Whatever question you ask, I'm going to answer. I'm just telling you... I'm only going to tell you if you already have the answer to the question. So if you want to run that by the other players, not me.
That's what I'm asking.
I want to know if Thurk even finished his shift.
You can ask that as a compound question. Did Thurk finish his shift? And if he did he leave in his normal...
Yeah.
Yeah.
go off the way that he normally goes?
Yeah.
All right, I guess that's survey says that's our question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hazi's going to say... he did finish his shift. He did leave in the normal direction.
Did anything weird happen during the shift?
Gonna get the operator noise. For more
Yeah.
information, please add more coins.
He's gonna lean in close. He doesn't want anyone. He clearly doesn't want anyone to hear this bit. But he's gonna say that while sometimes Thurk had to be our enforcer, as you seem to already know. And that night, he ended up having to throw out a couple of people who insisted that he couldn't throw them out because they were part of the city guard. If they clearly weren't in uniform. They clearly weren't on duty, but they claimed that he couldn't do that, and he threw them out anyway.
So they were Imperials, like their race was like Imperial race, not like natives.
They one of them was a dwarf, and the other one was a gnome.
Dwarf and gnome. Okay. All right, guys. Think of any other questions, because I think we're going to be running out of goodwill soon.
Was there a city guard before the Empire? Like, is there another active guard other than the Empire's guard?
This city was built by the Empire.
Yeah.
Okay.
There
Dwarves and gnomes are not Empire races, are they?
Dwarves are. The gnomes. Gnomes are second-class citizens. They can work, but they can't become actual citizens.
Okay.
They can hold jobs and they can live in the Empire, but they're not citizens.
Okay.
Humans, dwarves, and halflings are citizen races. Citizen ancestries.
Have you seen those two people back here since?
No.
And Hazi is the bartender or the other missing elf?
Hazi is the bartender. They don't know that. You know that. They've never asked his name, but you've been here enough times that you know him.
He knows this guy, and he used our money to get questions?
You got
Yeah.
once he thought that you guys were together. You got a bit more conversation than he was originally going to let you get.
Okay. Fair enough.
I say, hey, Hazi, did any of these, did Varial or Thurk or Elf 2 speak to the same people by chance, or anything you remember that they all did before they went missing? Same drink, maybe?
I don't know anything about that. No.
I mean, we have the posters, right?
Yeah.
I mean, can we? Let's
okay, so you can look at the posters. You can see that he did say that those two have not been back to the bar since Thurk vanished. You can also see that Thurk was the first one to vanish. So they haven't been in the bar when any of the other people that went missing went missing.
And I say, Hazi, can you please just give me a drink and tell me if you think you know what's happening here?
So, I was gonna show the other four posters of the kobold, the gnome, the elf, and the other kobold, and be like, were these regulars too?
I've never seen most of those.
Okay. Just because I'm curious to see if there's a commonality of, for some reason, the bar. All right.
You can answer Zephyr's question.
I asked Hazi,
Oh.
Hazi, these are huge people. Who do you think be taking them out? Is there a fight scene that I don't know about yet that I should be involved in?
He's gonna say.
Go ahead.
He's gonna say, "Look, the main thing I know is, if those were city guards that were pissed off at Thurk, it doesn't seem terribly surprising to me that the city guard doesn't seem very interested in finding him."
First rule of fight scene is we don't talk about fight scene.
Well, I say, I say nothing.
I'm gonna turn towards Zephyr and ask.
He will give you a drink on your tab.
Your tab is 13 gold.
So I'm gonna turn towards Zephyr and ask, has Varial had any issues with the city guard lately? Before he disappeared?
Burial has had trouble with everyone in this bar at some point in his life or his existence.
Ooh, did Varial play like cards with those guards, maybe? Or
not the night
so those guards weren't regulars.
No, they weren't regulars.
No,
they have not been back since Thurk vanished, and Thurk was the first person to go missing the 6 that you know of. So they have not. They definitely were not here on the night that Vario went missing.
Okay.
I say, Hazy, if you hear anything, let me know, and I give the nudge over to an empty table to the rest of the party. And I hop down and sprite my way over to a empty seat with a table.
Correct me, but sprites, aren't they like this big?
About, yes.
Something like
that.
They're tiny size.
So, sitting in a chair, you would not be able to.
No, I go from the
on
chair
the table.
up to the table. I'm sorry, I jump from the table to the chair or from the floor to the table floor to the chair to the table.
That's unsanitary.
Don't sprites also fly?
Negative. So came from the first
Really?
world. The sprites lost their wings after a while, and their firstborns, or when they're born in the second world, they come out with no wings.
When he levels up, he might be able to fly.
I might, if you got some,
fly.
If you want to change that copper to a gold, I can show you some wings.
Yeah. So basically, they don't have. They don't inherently fly. Some can develop wings, but actually being able to use them for sustained flight is a gradually learned ability.
Okay.
At this, Hazi or Zeph can fly in such a way that he can reach places that medium-sized characters can reach, but that's about it.
Like the top of a table.
Yeah, without having to take a move action to jump.
And now you saw my wings, and so I want that that gold. I will be scanning the room for anybody else who looks overly muscular.
Was Burial overly muscular?
They were elves, and so elves. And you said 2 kobolds I heard were missing, and Thurk, which just sounds like a really strong name.
Thurk was a big boy.
If you can throw out a dwarf and a gnome.
I'm seeing I'm seeing like a pattern here of challenges. You're not seeing missing posters for babies. They're going after, rough and more.
Depending on the size of the gnome, you could mistake them for a child.
Well, yeah, but then they go
the kobolds
missing
obviously aren't very large.
Yeah.
I thought the kobolds were like big old lizard, ugly, like.
I mean, from your perspective, they're big.
Everything's big from your perspective.
Well, so yeah, then I continue to do what I was doing.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it larger than everybody who's bigger than me.
They're not taking any sprites. They're not taking.
Kobolds are probably what two twice the size of a sprite.
Let me see. So it doesn't
Maybe
look
3
like
times.
it doesn't look like Pathfinder has quite that same like hard sizes, like actual heights associated with sizes necessarily. I haven't found anything like that anyway. It just talked about how many squares they occupy and what their reach is.
Okay.
But yes, kobolds are small size, not tiny.
Still
So are we
huge.
gonna go join him at the table?
Yeah, why not?
Is he?
We're gonna
He seems
eventually
to
be
want
looking
us
for
to do.
burial anyway.
I'm gonna
Okay.
ask for a mead.
He's gonna ask for our money.
How much money? Goodness.
7 gold.
No.
It's very good mead. Like it is the best mead you will ever find on this island.
What the heck?
I'm gonna pay him in copper coins,
One at a time.
one at a time. No,
There we go.
it'll be 12 platinum. No.
It's gonna be like 2 copper.
2 copper. All right, I'll give him my 2 coppers.
Cool.
I started doing push-ups on the table there, doing my some physical calisthenics to keep my my bee-like shape.
Keep that core strong. All right. So yeah, you guys are going over to the table.
I say hello, monkey.
Hello.
Are all 3 coming, or just a monkey?
Yeah,
No,
I'm
we're
bringing
all
my
going.
drink. I'm bringing my drink.
Now it is a monkey. Is it 2 humans, or what are your
Oh no.
I am a cat folk.
I'm a rosebush.
and a rose bush? Are you in bloom?
Sure.
Nice.
I'm a. What's my race? Gorin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I say hello. I'm Zeph. And then I
No.
sit there and stare at them blankly, waiting for them to say something.
I'm Chaparral.
I'm Cirilla.
And he's rude.
And he's
Yeah,
a drink
stop.
buyer.
I'm munching on something that I found. Whether or not that came from someone else's food is beside the point.
You just randomly started eating food at the table we sat at without knowing what it was or whose it was?
Oh no, it wasn't from our table.
Seriously. You have officially become one of the thieves.
No. It is a lesson that the person has been taught to not leave their food unattended.
That is a wise lesson to teach.
I'm gonna see if I notice. I don't notice. I have had terrible rolls tonight. Apparently, Cirilla doesn't notice either. All right. So I will have. I guess I'll show Zeph the other 4 posters and be like, "Do you know any of these? Have you seen these, or know anything about these other 4?"
I say, oh, well, I knew Thurk was missing. I thought he was just out on a bender. And I seen these other people in and around the bars and this side of the island.
Wait, back up. On a bender? Did Thurk drink a lot?
No, that's where he would just disappear and go off and drink a lot, and then come back and not drink a lot again. Like he'd be good and clean, but he would just disappear and go off and almost be a split personality. I hope I'm getting this right, and you don't know if I'm telling the truth or not. I guess only the...
Well, if I do another perception roll, let's see.
Well, let's.
See if I can tell if he's telling the truth or not.
Finally.
Finally, a good roll.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm telling the truth or not either, so hey, it's...
Yeah, it sounds legitimate to you guys.
All right. I don't know what to ask. So, Variel was a gambler.
Who owes money, and there are big people. All these are huge people that got taken, so it must be a huge monster taking them.
That
Huge
seems like a
monster,
stretch.
yes, but not in the way that you think.
So, did Variel owe money to like other people other than you?
Probably about half the bar.
Why did they let him still continue to play?
Because he could sing like a choir of angels. He knew
I don't know. I'll be the judge
He
of
knew
that.
every sea shanty that the elf could know.
Like one of these?
Did he know Santiana?
That's
Santiana's a good one. I like Santiana.
Drunken Sailor's overdone, though. Lever Johnny is also really good.
All right.
So I don't think anybody. It wasn't anybody from around here. There were no natives here that would want him gone because he owed too many people money.
But
But how did he get his money if he was always losing?
You know, elves, and they got their things they can sell. You know, he always came through and would come back with a nice shiny dagger or a crown for somebody, and he did a lot of pawning of the elf relics.
Pawning, you say, huh?
Well, as in, you owe me money, and you're going to pawn that over to me, otherwise he'd get his little butt kicked. Or his big butt kicked, I'm sorry.
Oh.
People pretty much just took what they wanted from him. But he always came up with more, and so he was a goose that laid the golden egg, and so he would have been welcomed back to have more money taken from him.
Do you know where he got his stuff from?
I do not.
Would it possibly be an imperial source?
That would be quite like burial. Do you want to go take a look?
I mean,
where?
we have some more investigation to do about these other four, but how?
But they don't owe me money, and so yeah, I'll help you out. But I gotta go find Varial because he's been funding
hold on.
He's been funding me.
hold on, because the chance of what made Burial disappear and what made the others disappear is likely the same source. But if Burial was getting his bankroll from an Imperial source without the Imperial's knowledge, that means that they saw him as a liability. And if Imperials also saw Thurk and had a grudge against him, they could see him as a liability and want to make both of them disappear.
I mean, is getting butt hurt at a bar really justification to make someone disappear?
That depends on how butthurt they were. Because if your ego gets hurt, you don't care what you have to do to get revenge.
Okay.
And if
Especially
They-
for Imperials.
yeah,
Imperial
Im-
scums.
Imperials, they don't care what kind of background or job or money you have, because if you're not Imperial, they don't care about you.
If you're not Imperial, you're a metric.
I'm walking over to my monkey's food plate, and I'm going to take a little bit of food out of his plate.
So when
I say, "Go on."
so if the probable reason, the probable source of these disappearances is likely Imperial. But our issue is finding if it is Imperial reasoning or if it's a small group of Imperials.
I feel like you're
No.
kind of jumping to conclusions here.
You know what the easiest way to find out is?
Piss off some Imperials.
It's off some Imperials.
Yes.
I think it's time for
We make
Cirilla
some
to
Imperials
whip
butthurt.
the new guy.
Some Imperials.
But you already did that once, and you ended up in jail.
Ooh,
Oh, me?
good point.
Yeah, you.
Well, yeah, but thing is, if we do it that it's not technically against the law, then they can't throw us in prison.
No, it's okay,
It's
guys.
Says
all
the
I got
guy
it this
who's
time.
assuming
technicality.
that the Imperials are taking these people off the street.
They are.
Okay, but if they're taking them, then what makes you think that they wouldn't throw you in prison?
Because if they want to throw someone in prison, they have to have a legal justification. Whereas if they're just taking people off the street to use as sacrifices or batteries or some other thing, then they don't have to have a legal justification. They can just
Uh-huh.
do it.
Uh-huh. So you want that to happen to you?
Well, I figure one of us could be bait.
Monkey, I think you go and start a fight, and I will sneak in under your clothes and free you, and we will find Burial.
The problem with that is that if you start a fight, that means that they'll have legal justification to arrest you.
Or
But you know where the jail is. It's in the middle of all the Imperials.
okay, guys. I feel like we're kind of getting stuck on the whole two people happen to be guards thing and jumping to conclusions.
Claims to be guards.
Right. We don't even know if they were guards, and now we're just acting like this was all the Imperials all along.
What do you think?
I think we don't have enough information.
Well, Hazzy doesn't have any.
But we have like 4 more people that are missing that we
Let
can
me see
follow
these
leads.
pictures again. Let me see these.
You,
these
you also
monsters.
you also do know that Hazi wasn't the last one to see Variol.
Right. Burial went outside with the other 2 guys.
Let's find Lenny.
Or Olga or whatever her name was.
Wasn't it Harold?
No, it was Lenny and Algra. The great Algra.
Do you think they like okra?
Maybe.
You're not funny.
Maybe they're
I am
Cajun.
immensely funny, just not to you.
It was Dolga. D-O-L.
Oh, Dolgra.
Yeah.
Okay, that's less Dark Crystal.
So it was just,
Are-
it's
are Lenny
boring
and Dolgra
okra, I
here,
guess, right?
Or
What?
are Lenny and Dolgra here?
Not right now.
Let's set a trap for them when they come.
Are we sure they're
Oh, we
coming
just
here?
want to talk to them.
Do you not like surprises? I'm sure they would love a surprise.
What is wrong with you people?
Okay, but if we were to do that, what lesson would we be teaching? If we're going to prank someone, they must be able to learn from it.
God.
They will draw their own conclusions and they can share it with us after. The best lessons are lessons taught by yourself.
I'm just sitting here listening to this conversation, just sipping on my mead. Just-
All right, so we're not going to kidnap anybody.
No.
Where did kidnapping come into this conversation?
We're not going to go get the monkey thrown in jail. How are we
No.
going to find?
I mean, hey, now I don't mind getting the monkey getting thrown in jail idea.
That's because you have a, baseless grudge against me.
Faceless?
Faceless?
Faceless.
You deserve that grudge.
What did I do to deserve it? I didn't throw cow traps at your feet.
You kept on distracting me when I was trying to fix my mandolin, giving me bad advice.
He has been mad at you ever since that.
Mm-hmm.
That is a baseless grudge.
No, it's not.
So I tried to help you tune your mandolin. I tried to help you.
No, you didn't.
And
You
you hold a
purposely
grudge
tried to
against
mess
me
me
for
up.
that?
That's a deception check.
Oh, yeah. Roll.
Yeah.
Oh, damn it.
I tried to help you.
Oh, Liar! Liar! I do the Carol Kane. Liar! Miracle Max.
Amazing.
It wasn't too brave.
All caltrops aside.
Oh no, the cow traps really weren't me.
No, that was
That was someone
whatever
else.
Jacob's character
That was, yeah,
I
another
can't remember
guy.
her name.
First thing we start on our thing and he throws caltrops out and
What
He
lesson
said-
can be learned from cow traps?
He was telling a joke. What was the
Yeah.
joke?
Something about red feet.
what's red and
Yeah.
Dancing.
something. It's like, you guys, ha ha ha.
Yeah.
All right. So I think we should get some more information on the other 4 folks.
I agree, but we should also talk to Lenny and Dolgra.
And where are they again? I'm sorry.
We haven't found out where they are yet.
Okay.
But we're not kidnapping them.
One vote against kidnapping.
2 votes against kidnapping.
Actually, kidnapping's a bad idea because if we interrogate them in somewhere that they're familiar with, they're likely to give us more answers.
So, Tango knows a couple other places that Lenny and Dolgra hang out, as well as where Dolgra lives.
I know where Dolgra lives. We can go pay her a visit.
Okay. I'm on board with that.
What time is it right now?
3 in the
Well,
morning.
dinner service just finished.
Dinner service just finished. Let's go
So-
see if she's home.
So it's evening.
Or should we go to her backup bar? Or her laundromat? Her laundromat. I'm not sure. She might be doing laundry today.
Why would they be doing laundry like in the middle of the night?
When do you do
It's
laundry?
quiet. That's
Well-
when the laundromat's quiet.
Look, I
In-
only seen her a few places, and so I can take her to her house,
You would think in like
her
medieval times,
laundromat, or the bar.
right? If we're like in the sort of a medieval city, it would be in the town square at like a well or a fountain.
You don't,
Or
In
most
the
you
middle
don't
likely
do
of the
at-
laundry
daytime.
there. People were trying to drink out of that water.
Not out of a
Maybe at the
fountain. They usually have areas for people to do laundries, or they would go to the river. I don't think that
Well,
are
funny
we
enough,
are we
though,
technically at the point where you would have washing machines,
No, but there were
actual
launderers.
laundromats?
There were launderers.
They're definitely launderers. Yeah. But
does
not
she
in
have
the
clean
ghetto.
clothes usually, or is that going to be
Okay.
a very unlikely place for her to be? Are Lenny and Dolgra clean people, or are they kind of dirty?
I mean, they're
Wait.
normal.
So if Lenny and Dolgra are regulars, that means that they would usually come into the bar around the same time.
All right, so
And
Do-
if we
do-
know what
do-
time frame they would
Do I
come
know
to
when
the
they come
bar,
in usually?
Yeah, they normally they'd normally be coming in right around now if they were coming here.
but they haven't been seen since Varial was missing.
That's
So
not true.
No,
I
that
thought
was
that's
the
what you said.
guards.
Oh, the guards.
The guards
okay.
haven't been
The-
seen
the
since
guards.
Thurk went missing.
The
Well, do we want to wait for them then?
Supposed
so if we make our way to Dariel's house,
Dolgra.
or
Dolgra's
Dolgra's house, then if we meet them on the way, that means that they were on the way to the bar we were at. But if we get to their house and they're not there, that means that they would be at a different bar.
That's
Or
logical.
they were added to
Or-
the list of our missing people.
Yeah.
Are they martial artists, or what do the Lenny and Dolga do?
I mean, you mostly know them in the context of drinking
At the bar
and
drinking?
gambling, Yeah.
All right.
They're
so
launderers.
we had 3 choices, right? We had
I mean, yeah, Dolgra could
Al-
be a launderer. Like,
alternate bar, the
why
laundry,
not?
or Dolgra's house. So let's go 1, Dolgra's house, 2, alternate bar, 3, the laundry, and we'll do our 1d3.
Okay. I
We'll do
liked. I thought what Matt said was pretty logical.
Voting for Matt's plan?
Okay.
I'll follow a monkey.
Monkey has never led us wrong.
I
Never.
mean, he's never led me wrong.
Yet. Don't ask him for advice. Or
I
don't
give
let
great
him
advice.
offer advice.
Okay. Actually, Dave, you haven't done any. You could have at any point here do a check to see if you know Lenny and Dolgra. You have a lore specific
City
for
lore?
this city. Yeah.
Do I know him?
Give me a second
Either.
one. So this will be for Lenny, and the second one will be for Dolgra. All right.
I know both of them.
You've heard of Lenny. You know of Dolgra.
Okay.
Know or know of?
No. You've met Dolgra before.
Oh. Was Dolgra
In a professional capacity?
was Dolgra an ex-street urchin as well?
No, but she does. Yeah, she is a launderer. She does do laundry. Why not? And
Did I use her to launder my money?
there was some stuff that passed through her shop on
Okay.
behalf of what's his face, the dude that you work
Hedgerow?
for. Yeah,
Okay.
Edra has a connection with her. The stuff does. It's kind of a safe house for stuff that's passing through. this part of
Alright.
town.
So I would know if like she works late around this time, which I don't think she would if her normal time was to show up at the bars around now. I wouldn't think that she'd be at her shop.
Right.
So I would think that it would be either she'd be at a different bar, which is I think the most likely, or
she's on her way to this bar.
Or she's having a quiet night in.
Alcoholics
you-
don't
you-
believe in that.
You also, by the way, Dave, know that Dogra is a Tengu.
is a what? I'm sorry,
A Tengu.
a tengu.
Yeah.
A bird, I think that is, right? Or crane?
Yeah. It's a small-sized bird. Like they kind of look like ravens. Some of them.
Are they the Pathfinder version of Kenku?
Yeah.
All right. So we're looking for Dolgra. I'm assuming that where we'll find Dolgra, we'll probably find Lenny. Does that sound right? About right? Tango, Zeph.
They usually hang out together closely, yes.
Okay. So we were gonna do the monkey's plan and start heading towards Dolgra's house. Then.
Okay.
I take my symbols out of my backpack and I smash them together to announce, "We depart." And I
That was
put the
dramatic.
symbols back in.
Huh.
It's amazing.
It's not very loud because it is just small.
They're like little what are the finger symbols called?
They are. Well, to you they would be. To me, they're full size.
Not castanets. Castanets, right?
Yeah.
They're
that's
not.
what
Those aren't symbols, but yeah.
They look like symbols.
Castanets make a
Yeah, they're
clacking
called-
sound.
Yes, but they look like
They,
symbols.
they have finger symbols.
Yeah, there
Yes.
isn't such thing as finger symbols that are actual symbols that make the ringing sound. Castanets
Oh, they're called
clack.
zills.
There you go.
Okay.
Never heard of that.
Oh, see, castanets are a synonym for finger symbols as well. That's so.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Sure, why not? All right, so you guys go ahead and make your way to Dolgra's house. When you
Do we
reach,
see them?
Do we get all the way there? That's the question.
Do we
Okay.
notice anything on the way? That was yeah.
all right, you're gonna actually hear Dolgra arguing before you around the corner where her house is. But yes, you do make it to her house, and she is in front of her house, arguing with what the heck? Arguing with her rat folk about it sounds like a neighborly dispute. Like apparently someone was making too much noise in an adjacent unit. And they're having an argument about it.
So I guess I shouldn't start a performance.
That would
Okay.
be a
It,
bad idea.
it doesn't sound like it was right now that the extra noise was happening. It sounds like this was a problem. This is the first time they've had the chance to talk about it since last night
Oh.
when the problem.
It would
actually
still be a
arose.
bad idea.
Zeph's gonna pull out his symbols and be like, "We have arrived."
I'm
Right
a little
in-
bit behind you, but I'm coming. Don't worry.
right in Dolga's ear.
I'm surprised that Zephyr didn't try to like ride on one of our shoulders.
I was going to, but I haven't yet. I was going to get to know you a little bit first. I have some dignity in myself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Doesn't want to hide in the rose bush just yet.
Well, you're hanging out with us, so you can't have much dignity.
Yeah.
All right. We'll come around the
A
corner.
monkey, a cat, and a rose bush walk into a bar.
Well,
And
I'm
apparently
guessing.
a pixie finds them.
I'm guessing that
a sprite.
Dolgra-
Sorry, a sprite. I got
I'm
him mixed up.
guessing that Dolgra might remember me.
Nope.
Oh, okay. I will.
Ooh, is Dolgra
You were just-
active in the underworld?
Oh yeah. You were just one of the. You were just one of the random kids that Hedro sent at various points.
So,
Okay.
question is, do I know who Dolgra is?
Well, do an underworld check.
21.
Yes.
Do you? How well do you know Dolgra, or do you just know of Dolgra?
You know of Dolgra at 21 with you definitely are like you're aware of Dolgra as like an intermediary. You know of Dolgra as a fence basically.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You've not actually dealt with her.
All right, I have finally caught up to these fast-walking giants. And I hop and skip and jump on top of Monkey's shoulders. And then I jump off his head and I say, "We've arrived!" And then I point to the cat.
And I will strum on my mandolin a happy chord. Bring.
Dolgra and the rat folk are both gonna stop and like look at both of you. And the rat folk's gonna start like slinking away, and Dogra's gonna be like, "We're not done with this."
Should we come
What
back
do you-
another time, Pilgra?
Oh, Zeph, what the hell? What is going on?
Doggy, we're looking for burial. And these guys are apparently trying to get money out of the families of these 4 other people.
No.
No.
All right.
No.
We're not demanding money.
No. You're the only one
Not
interested
we.
in getting money.
Him. Just the cat.
Right, they're trying to help him get
No.
from the families of
No.
these 4 other people.
No.
We are just
We're trying to
find
investigate.
them. We are trying to find these people.
'Cause
They're
it's the right
trying
thing
to
do.
find the person
Mind
he's
to
looking
their
for him to get money
Oh
from
my God.
people like you.
No.
No.
All right, I'll let them explain it.
Please do.
We have expenses.
Shut up!
Shush.
This is one situation where you're not allowed to talk.
Yes.
Okay, I will sing it in a song.
Oh my God.
No, it was a terrible song.
It was a terrible song. It was a borderline offensive song.
Oh my God.
It must have been a Nickelback song.
Aww.
Nickelback
At least you didn't
is
say
not
Smash
that
Mouth.
bad. Nickelback is not that bad.
True facts.
Oh.
Tell us in chat how you feel about Nickelback. No, but yeah, no, Dogra is just kind of waiting for an explanation.
We are simply trying to find these missing people to A, give peace of mind to the families, and B, potentially find the cause of the disappearances and put an end to it. Whether that be an imperial cause or not.
That's an odd thing to highlight there.
He doesn't like the Imperial.
No.
Yeah, who
No, I
knows?
don't. They're imperial scum. They should go back to where they came from.
Okay. All right, and well, look, I haven't seen Burial since we had a bit of a disagreement, and I haven't seen him since.
What was the disagreement about?
Whether or not he was stealing from me and Lenny.
Stealing or cheating in a game?
See, the thing is, no matter how you slice it, it involves taking money that you didn't earn from me.
So both. Got it. Good to know. So when you had this argument, I'm guessing outside the root and shoot? I think that was the name of it.
That is
Um,
indeed the name of
Okay. That he just left? Like, just started walking down the street? After you guys were finished arguing?
She's gonna say, yeah, you know, we went outside, we had a chat with him. He agreed to pay us what we were owed, and then we all went our separate ways.
How much did he owe you?
I want to know if she's hiding anything.
You asked how much he owed her?
Yeah.
5 gold.
That was about the same for Lenny too.
Yeah.
Did Varia owe both of them 5 gold or combined together
It
5
was
gold?
5 each.
What game did he get you on? Or you think you caught him on?
Uh,
Oh God, I can't spell.
I've never heard of that game.
yeah, hold
Though
on.
I think I could win it.
What the heck? I don't actually know the names of any card games from the time period. I'm just gonna say.
Dice
3-card
game.
Monty.
Oh, here we
Dice.
go.
They roll dice.
Picket. It's called Picket.
Cricket?
Picket.
Like cricket, and they took it from over 5 days.
Ticket.
You think, Dolga, you think that those little rats had anything to do with any of these disappearances? It seems like they were kind of itching on you as well there.
Wait, what?
Do you think the rats that you were just arguing with, you know, you seem to be arguing with a lot of people. Do you think the rats had any beef with you and or Varial?
Oh no, this is an unrelated issue. They're just bad neighbors.
I think I heard this cat here will take care of them for you for a decent price.
Wait, are you trying to hire him as a hitman now?
He's trying. That's racist.
Big time. But aside from that,
I'm
Do you
just
know-
messing with you, cat man. Listen, doggy, what do you think?
do you know where Varial would get the money to pay you back?
No. I assume he'd con somebody else out of it.
Does he have a place that he usually cons people out of money?
Most of the time when I run into him, it's at the root and shoot.
And when he left the root and shoot after arguing with you, there really wasn't anyone else around, was there?
No.
That it seemed like may have been following him, right?
No.
Did you see him argue with anybody else or take money from anybody else that night?
Can't say I did.
You thought it was just a game of picket, and you didn't see he didn't. You think he only stole from you?
Yeah.
Figures. There was a crowd full of people, and he only steals from one person.
Yeah, because if you steal from too many, then you might get sloppy.
Oh, you sound like an expert.
No, I knew experts.
Fascinating.
That is beside this point, Cirilla. Where I met the experts are beside the point. They were experts nonetheless.
I don't think Dolgra's telling us everything she knows.
Dolgra, why don't you invite us in for a nice cup of mead?
She's gonna say, "I was actually on my
Seems
way out."
Forward.
As it happens.
To get a nice tall glass of mead.
Yeah.
I mean, wouldn't it be cheaper just to have the mead at your own at home? Or you don't do it for the mead. You do it for the company. And the money.
I really don't feel like I need to explain my comings and goings to you.
Oh no, I was just talking to talk. I wasn't expecting any kind of answer.
Okay.
Most people I know that drink don't go out for the alcohol. They do it for the company.
So, are you looking for Varial?
Well,
or
real
you...
quick. Cirilla, did you say that out loud or tell the rest of the party that you don't think that she's telling the truth? Or were you
Well, I
just saying
tried
it
to
out
be
of
subtle
character?
about it, but nobody listened to me, so I am saying it out loud now.
Well, yeah, I was
How
Did
big is
you?
Cirilla, by the way?
What?
How big of a bush are you?
Medium size,
Yeah, medium size.
Medium size?
Yeah. I'm
I mean,
5 feet
did
A
tall.
tall rose bush.
So what was the result of Cirilla's perception check?
That's what she's saying
Oh,
now.
okay. I'm sorry.
When
So
I
she told.
said I don't think she's telling us everything she knows, it's because I rolled perception, and she's not telling us everything she knows.
Let me try diplomacy and see if she will open up a little bit. Diplomacy. Nope.
yeah, that's not gonna work.
Oh, how about we knew that Zeph or not Zeph, Vario was getting items and that was being traded. So maybe Dolgra has an idea of, since Dolgra is a fence, maybe Dolgra will have an idea of where Vario was getting those items.
I'm pretty sure Dolgra, so when I rolled perception, Dolgra had just said that after they argued, Varial just kind of went off on his way.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
that was a lie.
They had a conversation. Varial agreed to pay back the money, and then they went their separate ways.
Yeah. And that was a lie.
When Dolgra or when Varial agreed to give you the money, was that because out of fear for his life or out of his own goodwill?
She's gonna say. We made it very clear to him that it was in his best interest to pay us back.
So fear for his life. Okay.
So I could try to charm her,
Okay.
and that could turn out very badly.
That could end up
I could try to
very,
intimidate her.
bad.
You're 2 inches tall.
You'd be
Yeah.
surprised.
Well, success is unaffected and aware. So the crit success means, for the saving throw, means that they know I tried to charm them. Target is unaffected but thinks your spell was something harmless. What is a success? Otherwise, failure, they become friendly. So let's try to charm.
Okay.
Oh boy.
So I think you have to roll.
Yeah, I'm just looking to see what I'm rolling against.
Doesn't say on the card.
I can look here on the sheet. Alright, your spell DC is apparently
17.
just verifying. Yeah. Alright.
So that's probably what a will save.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh no.
okay.
It was a 20.
It was
no,
a nat 1.
it wasn't that one.
Nice.
Silgra is now in love with you.
Toki's attitude becomes helpful towards you, and he can't use hostile actions against you. Okay.
So we have an hour to ask her questions, and then run away and hope that she doesn't remember.
Chances are she will.
Okay, so ask her again what happened to Ariel after they talked.
Yeah. So can you tell us really what happened with Burial?
We kicked the shit out of him. We left him in
That's
an
what I
alley.
thought.
But it was something that he was able to walk away from. He wasn't like beaten from like within an inch of his life.
I mean, he was probably going to have to stay there a little bit, but he'd be. I'm sure he'd be able to make it home that morning.
Which alley?
Oh well, I'm on my way to the root and shoot now. I can show you on the way.
All right.
Okay.
So we're gonna go there and okay. So what you're gonna find is the root and shoot. The back of the root and shoot. There's an alley there. There's one that runs beside it, and that is so. There's one on either side of the root and shoot. One of them, the one that's if you're looking at the front of the building, the one on the right, only goes back and then turns and runs along behind the building. The one on the left continues through to the other main road there. It's on that part of that one, the one that's longer, on the part of it that's in the, on the other half of the block.
Okay.
So if you come out of the building and turn left and then turn right, it'll be up there.
So, like, how far away from the bar does Dolgra live? Like, how far? Like, how long of walk?
It's maybe 15 minutes.
Okay, so and the street that they beat Vario up was like pretty close to the bar. You said, right?
Yes.
Okay. So on the way there,
actually, let me see if I can do this. Yeah. Okay. So if this is. Can you guys see what I'm doing on the map?
No,
You're not
are you
sharing?
sharing your
you're
screen?
not sharing.
No. Ah.
There, now I
Oh.
can see.
Sorry,
Okay. Let me
I have that
I have to
window
do this again.
maximized in roll 20. I'm sorry.
Alright, so those top and bottom lines are main roads.
Okay.
The line going, the big square is the root and shoot.
Okay.
This is the root and shoot here.
Mm-hmm.
Where they left him was about here.
Okay.
Okay.
So, like, as we were heading towards the root and shoot, I was going to ask Dolgra, like, where she thought that Dolgra was getting the items that he was paying people off with for his debts.
That I don't know.
But like you,
How
like-
hard was? Sorry.
I mean, I'll be like, you're a fence, so you should kind of have a good idea of like, kind of like the the
I think
history of some of these types of objects.
What makes you think?
the provenance?
What makes you think I do that?
Oh, I know for a fact you do.
I'm like,
But beside the point, how hard was it to fence some of the items that he would give you to pay you off?
so I'll be like, I used to work for Master Hedgerow, and I've dropped off things in my younger years many a time.
You're one of his boys. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you don't ask where stuff comes from.
No, that's how you get killed.
who was the buyer?
It varied depending on what the thing was that he had. You know.
Was it difficult to fence it, or was it pretty simple?
No, it was anything that was going to give me much trouble. I just passed on to Hedgerow and let him deal with it.
Okay, I just figured
Was there
after
any-
after a long period of time, after a long history of doing this kind of stuff, you kind of get an idea of like which sections of the city certain types of objects would come from.
If you want to know, sure.
Okay.
You say that Root Shoot's about a 15-minute walk from our house?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How far along are we in that walk?
Well, I mean, she showed you the place where, so.
Oh, so we're already there.
Yeah.
I was just trying to create conversation, like within that 15 minutes to.
No, I was going to sneak back into her house and see what she had inside of it, but that's probably...
Carol's gonna love you.
Surrounded by
We have our
terrible
new
people.
moonbeam.
I didn't say I was going to take anything. I was just going to look.
Are you done conversing on the trip over?
I'm done with my questions on the trip over. Yes.
And so now we're standing where she showed us
They dumped him?
where the beatdown happened.
I mean, that's up to you guys. She pointed out while walking along. So she was walking along this road. She pointed out as she passed the alley, but she's going down here to turn down this road around to get to the front of the building. She's not going down the alley to get there.
Okay.
How
I want
come?
to look around the alley.
I'll ask why she doesn't just go through the alley to get to the root and shoot.
Kidding me? People get beat up in there. I'm just gonna keep walking.
Okay.
And is this
Oh, look,
the
I can't-
same?
It's a street. It's an alley.
Yeah, it's a dark, narrow alley when there's a proper road right there.
Is this the same alley that what's his name disappeared in? The orc. I can't remember his
Thurk.
name.
Thurk.
Well, you do know that Thurk comes out of work behind. He comes out at the back of the root and shoot.
Okay.
And comes around the building in an alley.
So I'm gonna go swing over by where Burial got beat down in the alley, and I guess do probably a perception check to see if I can see anything.
You also, all right, cool. But real quick, you also know. So you guys do know from from earlier conversations that Thurk comes out the back, goes through these alleys, and where he lives with Toslick is over this way. Like it's off the top of the map and over to the right.
Okay.
So it's like
already-
both of them had been at that point in that alley.
It's
I already
some
did a
point.
perception check in the alley.
Yep.
okay.
And I'll go ahead and do one now.
I just saw a dark alley. I'm just like, it's an alley.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't see much.
Is there like
I see more than Chaparral, but I don't see much.
And Zeph, you were saying you were going to do one as well?
Yep. For whatever reason, it said 2 GM only instead of to everybody.
Oh. Yeah. That's. Oh, you know what? That might be a setting on your sheet.
Yeah.
You go to options.
Dice options is an only enable advanced dice, not a text chat.
Let's see here. Show notes.
Well, I got 11.
Yeah, we gotta end pretty soon anyway. Yeah, I'll have to figure that out later, I guess. Unless
Yeah.
there's... Oh, that's why. Ha. I found it. The little speech bubbles up next to the character tab makes your roll
Thank you.
secret. So the only one who rolled above it. So Zeph rolled lower than. Zeph rolled an 11. So that. Basically, just Cirilla is going to notice anything. One is that there is some, like, dried blood. But Cirilla's actually going to find some footprints in some of that dried blood.
Dun dun dun.
And they look like, heavy boots.
Do they look like
Standard
Hard
boot prints, not like
Question. Do they look the same as the boot prints in what's-his-face's shop?
Whose shop?
Ooh.
The dude from the other town that got taken by the
Oh.
guard.
Yeah.
Up Lugo's shop.
So they do look like guard boots.
Yes.
But I mean, those guard boots have probably haven't been there for months. Right? Because
When
Well-
did Varial go missing?
Varial went missing after Thurk did. Thurk went missing a month ago.
Yeah, but how long ago did Varial go missing?
Like 2 weeks, maybe.
Okay.
so it's a good chance that those boot marks haven't been there for 2 weeks.
They can't have been made after the blood finished drying.
They're boot prints in blood.
Yeah, like
they're not like in the mud
Oh,
on top of the
okay.
blood. They're bloody boot prints.
I will take a look at the boot prints and the dirt around there.
Okay. Well, this road is actually paved, so it's not dirt. It's cobblestone.
Whoever the street sweeper is needs to be fired unless there's another.
I mean, where you found it was like she found it like under stuff. Like there's, people
okay.
people use this alley for like the shops and stuff that are alongside the alley use it to like store garbage until it gets picked up or whatever.
Oh, okay. I mean, I don't notice anything, so I'm hoping that Cirilla actually tells us what's going on.
Cirilla would have pointed them out, and also mentioned that they look just like the boot prints we saw in what's his face's shop, a Blue Ghost shop.
What direction does the boot walk off in?
Towards the main road that's to the north there.
I imagine we can't follow it very far.
No, it really is basically just like a heel and like half of the rest of the foot, like at the edge of a blood.
And does it? Is this in the middle of the city, or are we towards the edge of the city?
So you are in the. So there's multiple districts. Kind of, the city kind of has rings of districts around the center. It's a walled city that has multiple layers of walls, as the city has expanded. If I remember correctly, you are in the northern second district. So the north half, the second. So there's the main, this core, and the first district is outside the middle wall. The second district is outside the wall. Beyond that, there's a total of 4 districts.
Okay.
Going out. So you're pretty close to the center of city. There's still 2 districts before you get out into the last wall.
I take a look for any kind of broken windows or doors or boards in that area. I gotta do it.
Well, again, you can do a perception check.
I'll see if I can see anything again. Nope.
All right. I mean, there's a bunch of garbage here. There's stuff that people have just kind of been tossing aside or whatever. There's above you. There are like clotheslines where people can dry stuff or put stuff out, whatever else they would put out on a rope.
Are there any bloody clothes on the clothesline?
No. So we'll stop there. Give you guys a week to think through what you want to do with that information. In the meantime, I would encourage everyone to go check out our Extra Life page. Again, check out our Extra Life team page. That'll take you. There's a roster tab that will give you paid links to all of our individual fundraising pages. Every cent that's donated goes to the hospital. None of it goes to overhead. Please help us help kids. The money that's donated goes to things like care that doesn't get covered by insurance. It goes to medical devices and supplies. It goes to entertainment to help the kids spend while they're spending time at the hospital, just to kind of be kids and to enjoy their time there and recover faster, because kids that are just expected to lay in a bed and do nothing because they're sick don't recover as fast. So all that stuff is covered partly by your donations through Extra Life. Money, like I said, most of us are raising for Boston Children's. Boston Children's, Extra Life was the second largest source of fundraising last year. We almost caught Walmart, but didn't quite. So this year, we would very much like to beat Walmart and be the number one and really kind of, it's 15-year anniversary of Extra Life. We really want to step it up this year and just get over that edge. So please help us help kids by going there. I'm sure there's lots going on with the hospital in Norfolk too, but I don't know what that is because I'm not part of their guild. So obviously kids there need help as well, including Matt's kid. If Matt's kid gets sick, that's going to be the hospital that baby Skippy goes to. So we would, help. You can help his kid directly as well. So thank you very much for joining us.
Hopefully not anytime soon.
Yeah, hopefully you don't need it, but it's nice to know that hospital is there and that you're helping them out. So anyway, thank you very much for joining us. Enjoy your week, and we will see you next time. Don't forget to stop by tomorrow. I'm going to be reviewing Hand of Fate. Is the game I'm reviewing tomorrow. Wednesday night is the Two Brothers Gaming. They're wrapping up. They're getting very close to the end of the Road to Oblivion, and they're starting to talk about what they're going to do after. Because the Two Brothers Gaming is a show that they want to keep doing. Once they finish Road to Oblivion, they're going to change their game. They've pitched an idea to me, but I don't know if that's solidified yet, so I don't want to announce it on their behalf. But check that out Wednesday night, and Thursday will be Star Trek Lexington: Last of the Line. And this Sunday, where the offline group of In Memoriam is getting together to play the Mount Doom storyline. So check that out as well. That'll be Sunday. All right, and we will see you next Monday. Thank you, and have a good night.
Good night,
Bye.
folks.
Good night.
See ya.